All right, happy Thursday night, everybody. Welcome on into the daily broadcast, coming to you live, and you are looking live at the Hat Creek Interior Studios tonight, dedicated to delivering a superior customer experience, keeping the styles of the West alive. Right here in the Hubaplex, Southside Road, 10101, their showroom. You can go to their website, hatcreek.us, and you can order and ship all of their furniture nationwide. That, of course, means outside the state of Texas. I know some people are going, so when I say nationwide, you mean Texas? No, I mean like the whole nation. Welcome back to the National Football League as they tee it up tonight. The defending Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles against the Cowboys. We'll ask you tonight, can the Cowboys hang? Will they stay within 10 points of Philadelphia tonight? I've got my score prediction. We'll find out what yours is. For you Cowboy fans, what do you think is going to happen? I know there's like two Philadelphia Eagle fans out there tonight. That'll be cool. Overrated, underrated, rated right Thursday with the NFL starting up again. Let's talk NFL head coaches the last 20 years. The ones who are overrated, the ones who are underrated, the ones who are, probably just right. Where does Bill Belichick fall now? Mike Tomlin, Mike McCarthy, Sirianni, Andy Reid, all those coaches. Last 20 years, give me your guys. Shanahan, you know, how would you rate them? NFL coaches that you think get way too much credit, way too little credit, and get just the right amount of credit. We have that the NCAA today voting, the membership voting that's got to get through a committee and different things. Basically, we want one transfer period. Sounds good. Hey, but what if we did it during the college football playoffs? That'd be good, right? And not so good. And then we will have a discussion tonight why Oklahoma State football coach Mike Gundy is their version of Texas Tech legend Gerald Myers, longtime Tech basketball coach, and then Texas Tech athletic director Gerald Myers. It struck me this week as Mike Gundy was lashing out again at the current system of football, this time against Oregon and Dan Lanning. For as Dan Lanning said, we pay to win. We spend money to win. That it occurred to me that Gundy and Gerald Myers are the same equivalent for their schools. We'll get your thoughts, your comments on the United Supermarkets chat line. Jump in. Easy to do. They take care of that. They take care of all your grocery needs, tailgating needs, and everything else that you might, ice. Yeah, they're going to have it for you Saturday, early Saturday morning when you realize we don't have any ice. We should get ice less. Yeah, they're going to have it for you at Market Street. Like breakfast food, burritos, different things. Yeah, you can take that out there from Market Street. So when you forget things, because it's an 11 a.m. tailgate or an 11 a.m. kickoff, which means whatever time you guys tailgate, Market Street United, they're going to be ready for you here in the Hubaplex and beyond. In three, good evening, West Texans, all you good, fine, friendly folks out there who wish you were. I'm Ryan Hyatt, TheRaiderland.com. You start your day with us there on the website. You got the cool Raiderland hot links every morning, serving up the hottest and freshest links from Raiderland and beyond. Brought to you by Jackson Brothers Meat Locker in Post, Texas. They do processing. They do all those wonderful things that you would expect great people in Post to do. And then they also have great meat, beef, and the world's greatest beef jerky. Get it to your tailgate this weekend. Ultra Exteriors. Yes, you can still get your roof repaired from the storms earlier this summer. Yes, you can still get your windows worked on. Yes, you can still get your siding done. Yes, Ultra Exteriors can still do a bathroom or kitchen remodel. Yes, they do all the great things they do. Go to their website, Ultra Exteriors, and give them a holler this week. Tell them we sent you here from Raiderland. All right, so let's get it going tonight. You guys on the old United Supermarkets chat line, what do you got for us tonight? Overrated, underrated, rated right, NFL coaches last 20 years. And let's talk about Dallas and Philadelphia tonight. I have come to the conclusion after much discussion and thought, I think Dallas is just going to get steamrolled tonight. I think Philly, there will be no hangover. I think Dallas is the team with the hangover after the Micah Parsons episode and everything else. And an offensive line that has injuries and wasn't very good to begin with, and a run game that's not so good. I'll give you my score right now, 31-17 Philadelphia. What do you guys think happens tonight? We're a mere 45 minutes or whatever we are from it. 7:20, 7:21 first kick. We'll be ready. We'll be watching. But do you think Dallas can hang with Philadelphia tonight? Yes or no? Give me that, and then anything and everything else that's on your mind. Texas Tech football, it's kind of that in-between, a little bit of in-between day. We've, talked about last week. We talked about the injuries. We talked about Baron Morton. There's no real reason to talk about Kent State. We'll get your predictions tomorrow night on the program. I'll give you mine. So you got other stuff. So get into the other stuff. All right, let's get it going. And you guys make it happen on the chat line. All right, you guys are good on the comments. We appreciate them. Whether you're on Facebook, Ryan Heights Raiderland, on our YouTube channel, Ryan Heights Raiderland, all free all the time, and on Twitter X at Ryan Hyatt Media. All right, Chris is going to get it started tonight on Facebook. Andy Reid rated right, Gruden overrated, Tomlin underrated. All right, so I don't know if you guys know this, but Tomlin has never had a losing season as an NFL head coach. He's never had a losing season. Of course, he's only won like one playoff game in the last 8 years and has been a non-factor for the last decade. And Pittsburgh fans, they don't loathe him, but they're like, that's it? That's what we do now? We barely make the playoffs. We lose in the first round, and we're happy to win 8 games, 9 games, whatever it may be. I would say Tomlin is rated right. I don't think he's underrated. Gruden, overrated? Come on now. He's going to coach every team that has an opening over the – well, never mind. Andy Reid rated right. I don't know how you could I don't know how Andy Reid could be underrated at this point. He was probably underrated before the run of Super Bowl championships with Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. That what he had done in Philadelphia, that he ran into, obviously, the New England Patriots, that, you got an NFC at the time that was pretty salty still. He was still beating guys at that time like Brett Favre, like a Green Bay franchise that was still rock solid, getting through that. We could have made the case prior to the Super Bowl wins underrated. Now he's a Hall of Famer. So I'll give you rated right on that because I think everybody has him consensus Hall of Fame head coach, and we go from there. Will Dallas stay within 10 points of Philly tonight? Do you have any hope? Give me the reasons why you think Dallas can hang with Philly tonight. Give me your score predictions. Give me what you think is going to happen. Saquon Barkley will run the football against Dallas, but Dallas is better. Remember, Dallas is better now because they get rid of Micah Parsons, who wasn't good against the run. But then also over the last 2 seasons, when Micah Parsons was on the field, Dallas had statistically one of the best defenses in the NFL. Now, why might that be? Why could those 2 things be true at the same time? Because when Micah Parsons was out there, he could bring and generate pass rush. They were afraid to pass the ball for getting sacked and getting their quarterback killed. And it allowed other defenders to operate more freely. So teams ran the ball on them, statistically putting up yardage. But at the end of the day, the total defense and everything else was significantly better. And I'm into total defense, not run defense or pass defense. I'm into this whole thing called total defense. And when Micah Parsons wasn't out there the last 2 seasons, you had statistically the worst defense in the NFL. But they're going to be better against the run. No hope. Eagles 42, Cowboys 17. Even I think that's a little bit ridiculous. 31-17 is what I've got tonight. When we talk about Super Bowl hangovers, usually it's the hangover for the losing team of the Super Bowl, not the winning team. And there's nothing about Philadelphia that's gotten any worse since they walked off the field after dismantling a good Kansas City, a great Kansas City defense. Kansas City offense that struggled and had problems. And by the way, may be the same Kansas City offense this year Xavier Worthy has to elevate. Rasheed Rice won't be back for 6 weeks. Kansas City's a team that wins with defense now, not offense. You guys understand that, right? We're in the win with defense era for Patrick Mahomes, not win by putting up 350 yards passing and 5 TDs. I think you guys understand that. Overrated, underrated, rated right. Get your comments in tonight on that chat line brought to you by United Supermarkets. Whether you're on Facebook, Ryan Hyatt's Raiderland, our YouTube channel, Ryan Hyatt's Raiderland, that's free. And of course on Twitter X at Ryan Hyatt Media. If you have Texas Tech thoughts, I want to hear them. I don't know what the burning question would be right now for Tech and Kansas State, Kent State, other than how much, and how much do you say out of Baron Morton? That's really kind of it right now, right? That's all we got. Lawrence jumps in. He's on that YouTube channel, Ryan Hyatt's Raiderland. Everybody on YouTube, give us thumbs up. Hit the share button. Hit the like button. That's huge. It's great for our sponsors. And we talk all the time about the power of 5. Every night, if 5 of you during the broadcast will go to our sponsors' Facebook page or social media, Twitter or whatever, McAlpin Chiropractic in Lubbock tonight, Ultra Exteriors in Lubbock tonight, Hat Creek Interiors, we got exteriors, interiors, and United Super. And if 5 of you will just go to their sites and say, hey, thanks for supporting Ryan Hyatt's Raiderland, we appreciate it. That's huge. 38-17 Eagles. Cowboys are a clown show. Thanks, Jerry. Yeah, pretty much sums it up right there. Chris, it feels like this is the year that it lines up for the Bills. Okay, so why does it line up for the Bills? How are the Bills better? How are the teams they're going to be playing against worse? Kansas City's not worse. They're slightly better. They've done some things to improve on the offensive side of the ball. Baltimore, the teams they've got to go through. I'm not saying you're wrong, but the due theory is only after what? 37 weeks or so? Then they're due. JC is on our YouTube channel. Forgot about the Cowboys. Sure, Dallas wins by 3 or 4. Not sure if that covers. Dallas is getting points. 8.5. I think consensus right now is 8.5. Haven't looked. It's been a pinball machine on the spread today. So yeah, if Dallas wins by 3 or 4, they cover. We thought about doing that contest tonight. Lynn is really into the tush push and how many we see tonight. Thought about doing that. I would go over under 1.5 tush pushes, and I'll take the under. I'll say 1 tonight, because I really don't think, other than maybe a 4th and 1 somewhere around midfield or so, that they're not going to have to worry about it. They'll score within the red zone. They will score effortlessly, I think, once they get in there. I don't think you're going to have to do a tush push to score. So it would just be extending a drive maybe in the first half that we see 1. Now, I think they're going to at least do 1, just to prove to the NFL, who tried to take it away, to prove to the owners who tried to take away the tush push, that I do believe the Eagles will run at least 1 tonight. But I'm going to go 1. I don't think they'll have to run it more than once. Lawrence going with over 2 on the pushes of the tushes. Are you guys not curious why I said in the slug and early on in the show why Mike Gundy at Oklahoma State is their version of Gerald Myers? Anyone got any thoughts on that? Why you think I would say that? Why you think that Mike Gundy is their version of former Texas Tech basketball coach and athletic director Gerald Myers? Anyone? Bueller? Depends on what channel one watches if tush push is counting. Yeah, you got to be careful on that. Honey, no, I'm keeping up with the game. I don't know what that is. Is that Cinemax? See, Mike Gundy this week gets into a little flat because on his radio show, not his media availability with the full press, but on his radio show, he's talking about, Oregon and spending all this money and buying all these players, and we can't do that. We don't do that, and you know, whatever. And it gets back to Dan Lanning in Oregon. He's like, yeah, we spend money to win. I'm sorry that Oklahoma State can't spend money to win. And then Dan Lanning savaging Oklahoma State and saying, yeah, I really don't think Tennessee Martin probably spends the same amount of money that you guys spent, but you had no problem playing them, because one of the things that Mike Gundy said during his radio show is maybe we need to have a deal where teams only play other teams that spend the same amount of money, like a salary cap bracket. And you only play teams like you spent $3 million on NIL. Well, you pay somebody who spent $3 million on NIL. Florida Atlantic. There you go, Gundy. Florida Atlantic. Total budget NIL under $3 million for the Fighting Zach Kitleys. So as I watched Gundy over the last 2-3 years, maybe even a little farther back, I'm watching a guy who hates everything about what he does and how he has to do it. They can't take that play away. If it's a play, you can't stop it, then don't let them get that close. Tush push. I've been curious about the Myers thing since you teased it on Tuesday. Lawrence is laughing out loud about something. And JC, super consistent, didn't want to keep up. Gundy v. Gerald. All right, so Mike Gundy has done great things at Oklahoma State in football. He's got them in Big 12 title games, has achieved huge winning seasons, not like national championship level, but, better than any stretch, any era of Oklahoma State football. Gerald Myers, for the early 70s through the mid 80s, same thing, Texas Tech. Multiple Southwest Conference championships, multiple Southwest Conference postseason tournaments, NCAA tournament appearances, a golden era of Texas Tech basketball. And as David Collier, KMAC 28 sports director, says, both great hair. Gerald Myers, fantastic 1970s, 1980s hair. Unbelievable. The side part was epic. Myers and Gundy are grumpy. Well, they're both kind of grumpy at different times. Both beloved by their institutions. Now, I know for some of the younger people, you may not understand the iconic aspect that Gerald Myers really was throughout the 70s, 80s, into the 90s, even after he was relieved of his duties by T. Jones as basketball head coach, and James Dickey was named to replace him. But he was beloved. He won. He was a winner. He was a Red Raider. Gundy, winner. But they both run into certain things that I sat there this week looking at the parallels going, okay, this is fascinating to me. That I think Mike Gundy has hated everything about his job over the last 3-4 years, from the transfer portal to NIL, that everything about what he likes to do, everything about his life, everything about the structure, everything about it, he hates it. But he won't quit. But he didn't embrace it. And he said as much. Mike Gundy said as much. We didn't embrace the portal. We didn't embrace NIL. We didn't do it. We're playing catch up. But every time he says it, there's still this idea and aura. And we saw it this week, complaining basically about having to play a program in Oregon that, as Dan Lanning says, we spend money to win. If you don't want to do it, get out of the game. But Gundy's still in the game. But he didn't like it. Let's go back to 1986. And Texas Tech basketball is coming off an NCAA tournament appearance, losing to Georgetown in the first round of the NCAA tournament. Sean Gay, a heralded recruit, has come out of Houston. Golly, where was Sean Gay out of? Houston, not Houston, Madison, Houston something. And things are set up. Looking good. And then this slow erosion, this slow glide path begins for Texas Tech basketball from playing for Southwest Conference titles in the mid 80s to at the end of the decade, not competitive at all. Playing Adams State, just trying to get wins, and struggling for that. What changed? The game of college basketball fundamentally changed. And everything about it was something that Gerald Myers really didn't embrace, didn't care for, and didn't adjust to. The first thing was the three-point shot. That was anathematic to his style of coaching and working the basketball on the perimeter, attacking, going inside and outside in, and looking for good shots and looking for layups and looking for all those things. Not good. He didn't want guys jacking the ball up, coming down the court, and throwing up long shots unless your name was Bubba Jennings, and then you could do it. But everything else about that was not good. Then the other thing that came in with the three-point shot was the shot clock. 45 seconds first, which now sounds like an eternity, right? How could you hate a 45-second shot clock? Well, Gerald had possessions that would last 1.5, nearly 2 minutes at times, and not in a four-corner type deal. Okay, 2 minutes is a little long, but you get the idea. That there was no pressure, no clock. The whole 5 passes, Hoosiers, all that stuff. Yeah. You weren't in a hurry. You worked it around. You moved it around. Ball movement was key, and everything about that was beautiful. And we attacked, and we got the shot, and we made the shot, and then we defended the hell out of you on the other end. Those two things come in at the same time. And there were a lot of coaches like Gerald Myers who never adjusted, never really embraced it, and it prematurely, in my opinion, ended their careers. Mike Gundy and Gerald Myers are the same guy. They're wedded to a system that no longer exists, and now they're forced to coach in an era they don't like. But they're making pretty good money, and they like what they do, so they're not just going to quit. They're beloved by their institutions to a point. They're the same guy. They're the same person. With, as David Carter said, brilliant, beautiful, luxurious hair. That's what I mean when I talk about Mike Gundy and Gerald Myers. So does that mean Mike Gundy will become the athletic director at Oklahoma State someday? Who the hell knows? Your thoughts, if you have some on that, would love to hear them. Should have probably done this in concert with some of my Oklahoma State friends. Dallas and Philly. Can Dallas hang with Philly? Give me 5 more good minutes. We'll hang with you guys. Your comments, your questions on the United Supermarkets chat line. I've got it Philadelphia 31-17 tonight. Over, underrated, right? NFL head coaches last 20 years. Anything you want on Texas Tech football? Getting ready for Kent State. Got nothing. We've exhausted the whole Baron Morton should he play deal. After that, I got nothing for you. All right, so fire away the questions, the comments, your thoughts, anything you want to get in. That's the beautiful thing. It's like what we used to call in call-in radio, open lines. Lawrence of Alaman. It's like Lawrence of Arabia, but Lawrence of Alaman. Random question. I'm in Smithville, Texas. That's down there south of Austin, isn't it? Which game do you recommend I go to? 6 hours from Lubbock. I got nothing for you. Come to Tech and go to a game up here, right? Why not? I don't know. Go to Tarleton. Mark, 42-7 Philadelphia. The lack of love for the Dallas Cowboys is palpable. We can feel it. Now, I say this, there are a lot of respected, smart people today that are looking at that 8.5, 8 number and going, how can you pass up the Cowboys in an NFL game getting 8 points? How can you take a legitimate team like the Dallas Cowboys with a healthy Dak Prescott and not take those 8 points? Yeah, smart people do that. I just don't think this is that team. And I do not believe, I have no reason to believe based on anything we've seen, that Philadelphia is a regression team right now. That Philadelphia will not be as good as they were when they walked off the field. And if you ever wanted to have a Super Bowl champion come back and play good the next year on week 1, have them play not just a divisional opponent, have them play the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, I would hate that if I were the Cowboys. Like, I would want to catch Philadelphia any other time than, hey, right off the Super Bowl, there's a tendency to look bad. Oh, but can we give them some extra motivation? Sure. Let's have them play the Dallas Cowboys. Rivalries don't matter completely the same in the NFL the way they used to, and certainly the way they do with fans. Fans care more about Dallas, Philadelphia, Dallas, Washington, Dallas, longtime fans. You guys get into that more. Players don't really get it. But this is one they actually still do. There is an organizational rivalry between the Eagles and the Cowboys. That Jalen Hurts will take this a little bit personally. Chris, the Cowboys would make a good homecoming opponent for most teams. I was on a team, barely on a team, but anyhow, 5 straight homecoming games, and we were the opponent. Yeesh. It's a long halftime. They got to get the convertibles down there on the field, drive the queens around, they wave, they do all the homecoming activities. It takes forever. Jared, I'm rooting for the refs this year in the National Football League. Aren't we all? What do you got, Collier? I didn't. Collier, he's not even on here anymore. David Collier came in, 28 sports director. He's often on radio on Double T 90 something, or no, not Double T. He's on the 100.7. Got too many damn radio stations these days in Lubbock. Anyways, I don't think he was on today. I heard Rob Bro, but I didn't hear Collier. So I don't know that he had a Dallas Cowboys prediction. Noted Dallas Cowboy homer, David Collier. I'll give you an alt line on this one tonight. Would you put this together? Would you parlay this? Would you go for this? Philadelphia minus 11.5. That's right, minus 11.5. They got to win by 12 or more. But the over is 42.5. Would anybody go with that one tonight? Would that be an insane, crazy way to get to plus 280 in a game that offers very little CLV? I'll let you know how it works out later tonight. Yeah, Philly minus 11.5, coupled with the over of 42.5. When will the NFL adopt the 45-point rule like 6-man football? I think at that point I might watch the Cowboys. Just as long as the cheerleaders get to perform at halftime, we have one more kickoff. That's all we need on the 45-point rule. Tomorrow, we'll have your score predictions. The commentary will be back tomorrow as well. And I want to apologize. The last 2 days, we've been a little ragged around the website. Here's the deal. My mom, she broke her leg almost a month ago. She's been living with us here at Raiderland World headquarters. We have a lot of doctor's appointments and visits and different things that are going on. This week has been a little busy on that front. So if I'm, a little neglect sometimes on the column or on a commentary or anything else or whatever, please know it's not because we don't want to do it. It's just sometimes just timing and everything else runs counter to that. She's doing well. She's getting better. If she were on the Texas Tech Athletic football report for injuries, she would still be listed as out. She's going to be out for another several weeks. But I hadn't talked about it a whole lot and everything else. But, yeah, it's just been a little bit of a different dynamic here at Raiderland headquarters and working with that and making sure she's getting all the attention and care she needs as she recovers and should be ready completely for basketball season. I have no doubt. So if we are absent on a morning with a column or, like I said, on a 60 seconds of Raiderland commentary or anything else, please understand timing. We've got a few things going on. I should make Collier do some of this stuff. You know, it's not like he's got anything going on in his busy life. The dude has 18 jobs. All right, we appreciate you being out there. The Power of Five. Go to our sponsors tonight. Hat Creek Interiors in Lubbock. McAlpin Chiropractic, the official chiropractor of Raiderland. Ultra Exteriors. They have a website. They're not on Facebook. And then United Supermarkets at Market Street. If 5 of y'all go in there and say, hey, we appreciate you and we thank you for doing and supporting what goes on in Raiderland, that makes a huge, huge difference for us. They already know we have a huge, massive audience. They already know you guys are great. But when people see that, it goes so far in solidifying their advertising dollar spending. And I say it again, not just for me, but any program you love, any media you enjoy, please do that for the sponsors that make that happen. Get Don Williams to fill it. Yeah, Don Williams. He's not writing anything. It's not like he's busy. All right, 31-17. We'll see what it looks like later on tonight. Welcome back, National Football League. We'll see you in the morning, Friday, most Texan thing you have done. Friday prediction time contest, or whatever you want to call it, for Texas Tech and Kent State. And who knows what else we'll be talking about come Friday night on the daily broadcast. But we will be with you in the morning on the site with our Raiderland Hot Links, brought to you by Jackson Brothers Meat Locker in Post, Texas. And we will have a commentary for you. I think I've already got it written down right there. If fans hate the non-conference games, why are they? We'll see what that is. We'll see what that is coming up tomorrow. United Express opening to Andrews. Rock on Andrews, home of the Mustangs, and a little Hall & Oates action there. Can't go for that. No can do. See y'all tomorrow. TheRaiderland.com.